Hey there guys, so last time in the anime, we saw that Lloyd's fight with Gatan wasn't progressing at all, because Gatan had this headache-type holy power which could purify anything he saw as evil. That's why none of Lloyd's attacks were working on him, but that's when Escher started to sing and her song reached every corner of the city. It was so sublime even Gatan paused, and that's when Lloyd took his chance. But the guy turned evil for a reason. He was once a kind pastor who had a small happy family, but one day a starving man barged into his house and killed his family for food. Gatan used his holy power to kill him, yet the man died without pain. That's when he thought if one is innocent, God won't punish them even if they commit sin. That's why he was doing all this, to reject the belief of God being all-powerful and all-good. But right now Lloyd was using Escher's song to attack, and seriously, he unleashed one heck of a spell on Gatan, but the guy was persistent and refused to die that easily. So Lloyd was thinking of some other way to beat him, but the purification powers just kept getting in the way. No matter which spell Lloyd cast, Gatan could easily nullify it. But Gatan could only nullify 3 different types of spells at most in one time, and right on time Grim and Jirael arrived, so Lloyd got happy and sucked them into his boy to fight. Gatan thought his chimera would still complete their mission, but Lloyd knew about those minions already, and he knew what Gatan is thinking will never happen. Still, Shiro was at his limit and enduring so much. Those chimera were eating him, and that's why Syra told him to howl all he want. His voice wouldn't ruin their performance one bit as she would adjust her tuning to it. Such divinity made Shiro stand up again, and Escher continued to spread her song. Now it was time for Lloyd to cast a new experimental spell, and he chanted earth, water, and fire magic at a dangerous degree. Gatan felt in that moment that Lloyd couldn't be a god, because no god would cast such a dangerous spell in a whim. More so, he could only stop 3 spells, and that would leave him wide open for the 4th spell to hit. Still, he didn't want to be defeated that easily, but the level of this spell was just disastrous. With this much power, Lloyd could even wipe out whole humanity from this world, and for some reason he was proud of himself. Jirael and Grim actually thanked Gatan for stopping it and saving humanity, which was really ironic, because we are watching a villain who's saving the world from the hero. And now he realized he still believed gods were good, because a god wouldn't commit genocide like this abomination in front of him. Meanwhile, Anastasia and Dante arrived to save Shiro and Escher and Saria. Dante was confused why Anastasia was here since she was on Gatan's side, but even she wondered who Gatan was fighting that could cause such an effect on the ground. For once Dante thought it had to be a god, and beside them Escher was running out of lyrics and add a few stupid lines to her song, but still her voice gave courage, and Gatan stood his ground against world-destroying magic. In that moment he felt guilty for dragging Anastasia down the path of sin and questioned God's judgment, but more so he realized this kid Lloyd was enjoying screwing up the world for fun. He was driving up his desire just like the man who killed his family, Editha. Suddenly Gatan saw the glimmer of his family's soul. He broke down in tears and apologized for not singing well, but his child said he never cared about that and came to cheer him up with his mom. But it was actually Lloyd's illusion, and realizing that both clashed their holy powers, in the end Lloyd once again snatched the win with that absurd dominating power level of Bis. And the after effect caused a healing light rain to fall over the city, which also had purification powers. It even showed Anastasia the past when Gatan was depressed and forsaken. That he felt like wherever he goes rain follow, which felt like heaven was spiting in him. So a part of her believed she could have stopped him back then, but Dante told her to stop blaming herself because he too failed to see Gatan's darkness. Meanwhile, the light rain made people in the capital come out to admit their sins. Perhaps this went too far. Still, Lloyd knew if Gatan wanted to them he could have manipulated every bishop to do his work, but he didn't. So Gatan said that he only wished to be judged by God for his sins, to see if God truly punishes evil. But if God wouldn't, then maybe the bishops would. So he did all this to put up a strong fight and be judged. But what happened was unexpected. He was stopped by a prince at that. So Lloyd told Gatan that Escher became a sister only because she loved singing, and when others heard her they were taken aback. Escher just loved singing so much, and she picked the church to spread her songs. Her reason was too silly but pure at the same time, and she even believed she could have a payback from Gatan through her songs in the festival. Gatan thought how naive that was, but it shows the decision is up to us what we want to do in life. Lloyd lives by that too, though he's a different case entirely. Then he returned the sword of civil war to Gatan, and when Gatan asked what he said in his last moment, Lloyd lied that he forgot, but he invited Gatan to Lourdes Castle though. After that incident, the official story was made that the Pope was murdered by an intruder who caused the chaos, but only a few knew the truth. A bishop wanted to reveal it was Gitan, but exposing the Pope's corruption would ruin the kingdom since it was founded on God's principles, and that would also cause mistrust on the crutch. And on top of that, now that the Pope's seat was empty, Rosalies thought he could take it, but Dante knew he wasn't cut out for it. Instead, he suggested the perfect candidate to take that place, and it was Escher. Her brain stopped working for a moment when she heard those old men wanted her to be Pope, but aside from that mess, Lloyd visited Escher's room while she practiced. She noticed Lloyd never disturbed her and never asked anything. And back then it was Lloyd who gave her the idea to perform during the festival because he knew Syra was just like him, driven by desire to do what they love, and for that they are even willing to die for it. Then suddenly Escher played a tune that stacked the same spells Lloyd could use. He got worried that she might have discovered his truth, but Syra didn't care. She said just didn't want to bother Lloyd, just like he never bothered her. Later a new bath was opened in Lourdes, but only Lloyd was allowed to enter the mixed bath. There Escher admitted the church was thinking of making her Pope and everyone supported it. Talia even asked what Babylon thought on this, and Escher blushed when she included him. Soon Lloyd asked for permission to leave, but Silpha refused. Watching this, Escher offered to nominate him so he could leave freely. But this caused a tug of war since Silpha wanted to live in peace with Lloyd, but then Syra dropped in and said it was best for Escher to take that seat. That way her dream of spreading her song to the whole world would come true. And that's how Escher became Pope, which marks the end of Season 2. But hints of Season 3 were already in motion, and maybe in a few years we'll see it. But until then, subscribe to the channel for more anime episode recaps, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Till then, take care.